most about Tom is what he feels like. You know, I know what his neck feels like to kiss it and to bite it, and I know what his head feels like, his forehead. Because I was so used to just being able to run into the other room and kiss him on the forehead, or pester him, or bother him, or get some attention from him. And I can't do that anymore. Very scary to look at him the first time after he died, look him in the face. But I did. I don't remember it, but I know I looked at him. And then I wanted to close his eye because it's very strange seeing a dead person staring. And I tried, just like in the movies, to close the eyelid. It doesn't close. It pops back open. And as I said to Tom, I apologize that life wasn't like the movies. Movies, you just so dramatically close the eyelids and it's all over, but it didn't.
Tom Joslin was my film teacher back in college in the mid-70s. He was my mentor, and later, he and his lover, Mark Massi, became two of my closest friends. When they were both diagnosed with AIDS, Tom decided to shoot a video diary. He asked me to finish it if he couldn't.
How's this? This is the first footage from the beginning of the first take from Silverlake Life, and I thought I'd show this to Mark, and the message is gonna be clear. How's that? I love you.
Here we are at Thrifty's, doing one of those tasks that just will never ever get done unless you do it. What's that? I want the bottom one. Does it come loose? It's so tough. The simplest 5-minute task. You have to come to the car and lie down and put the seat back and rest and catch your breath. What a way to live. Huh. What a way to die.
And now I'm going to call in Omra. Omra is a healing spirit from our northern fifth dimension. He works with many other spirits, but he channels through me, and he heals by the vibration and the sound of his voice. So if you will allow Omra's voice to penetrate deep into your psyche, he will work with your own selves to create a pattern of harmony and order. So all this harmony will disappear from your body. And you'll feel wonderful. Your body will sing. It'll be like a beautiful symphony. So Omra, we have a new friend here, Mark. Would you please come and do a nice blessing on Mark? Oh, tiki ta, tiki koko ta tu ta ta ta. Ah, yakatu, ti ta, tiki koko ta tu ta. Ita, tiki ta, tiki tiki koko ta tu ta.
Okay, that's good. Is your image up here?
Yeah.
Has to be
If
image
it's off
there.
standby. It'll come up in a bit.
Yeah,
So you think?
not yet. There we go. Yep, it's up.
There it is.
Alright. Yay.
Oh, I want to be able to hear more.
When you first found out about your illness.
I have a lover named Mark, and we've been together for 22 years now. So we finally made the decision to get our test done, which was about 6 years ago. And then I went in and I came out positive. And it was very shocking, to say the least. And it's always hovering in the back of your mind, and you're looking for, KS spots or lesions or some sign that the disease is finally really here. I was hit with very suddenly with the cryptococcus meningitis, which is kind of a brain disease. I gotta put this in, it's so beautiful. Described by my doctor as it's kind of like bats hanging from the back of your brain stem upside down and slowly eating their way up. Lovely. Anyway, that hit with a smashing series of headaches and high temperatures, and I got rushed to the hospital. So the task of telling my parents that I had AIDS went to Mark.
How difficult was it for you to tell your friends and your family? What sort of reactions did you get?
For a long time, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't want to tell anybody because AIDS is such a horrible thing in people's minds. To everybody, it's a death sentence. So when you tell somebody that you have AIDS, they start treating you that way, like you're a sick person or a leper or somebody's going to die soon, and it's not a comfortable way to live. I mean, it may be true that I could die in 6 months or 2 years or 5 years or whatever, but you can't live like that. And to have people looking at you that way all the time is really uncomfortable. You really feel crappy. So I think Tom started telling people that I had AIDS. And then when he got sick, because I've had AIDS for almost 2 years. And when he got sick this past summer, he ended up slowly telling people because he had to, and then it got revealed that I had AIDS.
And this, and we're rolling.
It is running. Hi. A lot of work, huh?
Yeah.
This is funny because you should be looking at the camera, but if you look at the camera, then you can't see yourself on the monitor.
Yeah, I know. Well, let's look forward into the void instead.
How's that for dramatic effect?
What a composition. Watch this. This is really gonna... This is gonna...
You're supposed to imagine that this is some kind of plant blowing in the breeze.
Ah,
Like
yeah,
a tree.
it actually looked like an amoeba for me, sort of.
Well, that's because you're probably more primordial than I am.
Yeah.
So you can see my KS. Radiation burns.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed on this here is your... Where are you? You're down here someplace. Is your eye... where you hit that red line on your eyelid there.
Oh, that's over here.
No, there's one on this side.
There is?
Yeah.
What are you saying? That there is one now? There isn't one?
There is one.
Where? That
Just
there?
a little line, yeah.
That's new?
I don't know. I've never seen it before, but I haven't looked at your eyes in a long
I
time.
haven't either. I haven't seen it now.
Maybe you'll get to have the...
Oh, God, thanks. A little lead shield stuck in my eyelid.
Yeah.
Sure feels like it.
I would like to welcome you aboard Transworld Flight 868, service from Los Angeles to New York. Your captain in command today is Captain Ray Arnold. He's celebrating his 35th year with TWA, and this is his last flight.
Well, Silverlake Life normally takes place in Silverlake, California. But in the end, it goes where I go, and it's Christmas time. And this summer, when I almost died and my family came out and saw me, one of the things that we talked about as a way to keep me going and a goal to set, live towards, was Christmas, when I fly back and say hello to them all. So, mid-December, Mark and I hopped in an airplane, ready to go back to the cold winter to share Christmas with my family. There seemed to be some tension about this trip to New Hampshire. I was already sick. I was worried about the cold. And I think they were also worried that I had started to make this tape again, because literally 15 years ago I'd made a movie about being gay and growing up gay, and it was asking a lot of them at the time. And this is some of that material.
one day in this very spot, this is less than 300 yards from my house, I'd bicycle down here, you know, this is around 14 or 15, and I came across, I think it was right by this tree, yeah, a rock, and under the rock was a note. And it was right under here, and there were notes in it, you know, and the notes were between two gay lovers, and they were communicating when they were going to meet. So I wrote back to them, scared of course, but I wrote back to them, telling them about it, and then came back, and they left me a dirty magazine. And being gay, every mother finds dirty magazines that their kids collected, you know, that they hide under the mattress, but not dirty male magazines, you know. And you develop this whole inner secretiveness where you learn not to tell people, you know, and to hide things and to cover things up, and it begins to change your personality. And you learn how to socialize with women and pretend to follow the whole route that all your peers are following, when in the end it's kind of all a lie. And you learn to lie pretty well. I'm tired of lying. I don't want to lie anymore. So I make this film, right? What's your name? What's your relationship to me?
My name's Mark Massi, and I'm your lover. Back in college, you had decided that you couldn't love anybody, and you didn't want to love anybody, and you were going to love everybody through film by doing great, tender, romantic films. And I madly fell in love with you because I was desperately in need to love somebody, and our minds just seemed to work together. We understood life kind of on the same level. And it took almost a year of me yelling and screaming and pulling my hair out and getting very suicidal before you finally fell in love with me.
Okay. What's your name and what's your relationship to me?
My name is Mary Joslin, middle name Kimball, and I am your mother.
Okay. Are you nervous?
Not very, no.
I am.
You are?
Yeah. Can you remember clearly the first time that I ever told you that I was homosexual?
Yes, indeed.
Could you relate that?
Yes, it was in the lobby of the New England Center at the University of New Hampshire. And I was standing at the time on an orange rug, and I very shortly sat down.
I don't even like to think about it. I think it's awful. And I think we must have done something wrong to get that way. And I don't think you ought to advertise it. I don't think in this movie you ought to even mention it. Because it would be maybe not embarrassing to you, but it would be embarrassing as hell to me.
Family life has always meant so much. And to think that you would not have a family of your own was a great disappointment to me.
What about Mark? How do you get along with Mark? I know that's...
I don't know how frank I should be about this, Tom.
Well, I don't know. Mark is it seems to be a nice guy. There's 2 or 3 things against him that, as far as I'm concerned. First, his looks. He looks like he's going to fall over, and he looks like he got TB to me. I don't know. And, of course, he's got 2 strikes against him anyway, having something to do with your married life, shall we say. It doesn't seem quite normal to us, to the normal people, so naturally he's got 3 strikes against him. But on the other hand, he's always very nice and pleasant, to me anyway. But I don't think I ought to say any more. But in other words, he isn't the type of guy I would pick out for a friend. Yeah. You understand? It just wouldn't, he and I couldn't get along, I'm sure, because he'd be, we think in different circles, different ways and so on.
We just don't think alike. We don't live alike. I think he resents a great deal about me, and I resent something about him.
she's a typical liberal, you know. On the surface, she's nice and kind to us, you know, and says, oh, okay, I realize that you are, I mean, she doesn't know what gay is, okay? She says we're homosexual, and she accepts the fact that we're homosexuals, and she feels sort of sorry for us in her own little way that, you know, we can't live like the rest of the world. And those sort of things just, I mean, when you build them up on a larger scale, that's what makes homosexuals commit suicide. As we begin to see who we are, we've got to see that little seemingly unimportant details, such as words and labels, tell a story. Fairy tale of sorts. So let me say a little about gay as opposed to homosexual. They are opposites, and not just two words expressing similar objects, because only one talks about objects. In order to understand these words, we must understand that this society is a multicultural one, but in reality it recognizes only one culture. The others are under genocidal attack. So now for us, it is a beautiful thing to be blatant, where at one time it was looked down upon. We have come to see that it is the fairies, faggots, queens, etc., that were, through their blatantness, the first to challenge the system. In essence, saying they had the right to be super gay, because blatant is beautiful. So we also know that it will not be until what straights call blatant behavior is accepted with respect that we are, in any sense, any of us, free. The personal is the political, the economic, and the cultural. Gay is the revolution.
You love me?
Oh, yes.
Well, when that showed on PBS, there was a little consternation, I can tell you. So maybe some fear that I was redoing a new tape also added to the pressure. But I arrived and there was an entourage to meet Mark and me. Friendly people from the family. This is Momere, ever beautiful.
You're still looking great.
And back at home, this is Sam, about to take a treat at the table from my father. Don't feed the dog at the table.
It goes down fast, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Well.
Oh, hi there. I'm Whitey Joslin. I'm Tom's older brother. Hey! Yes, it is me, Whitey Joslin. It is I, excuse me, Whitey Joslin, the star of the previous Tommy Joslin Spectacular. My wife, Susan.
What happened right away when you found out that I had it?
You saying when we found out you had AIDS?
Yeah.
It was kind of, it wasn't that we didn't expect to hear it because you had told us that Mark had AIDS and that you did not.
And we started talking about, you being sick, and your dad said about his brother Bob, who had died a few years earlier of cancer. He had gone to see him once and could only stay in the room for 5 minutes because it was just too painful for him.
Dad never went back, apparently, after the first time I went to visit him, and said he didn't want to see him, remember him that way, I guess.
At that point, the phone rang, and it was you. And you said to your mom, and I'll never forget these exact words, Mom, I just wanted to ask you, do you understand AIDS? Do you understand what's happening? And she said yes. And he said, do you understand? I sort of sensed like he was saying, I'd kind of like you guys to come out here. And I said it, I think, quite bluntly, you guys should go. And then, well, we'll think about it, I don't know. And you turned around and said to him, didn't you listen to that phone call? Tommy wants you out there. What's he got to do? It's just, I guess I find it hard that your mom and dad just sort of are dealing with it it doesn't exist.
All right, I'm ready to start. God, with a present. Oh, we got to open presents today?
You gonna get tall?
Now, the idea was not to make you spend a fortune.
Okay, so I went back out after I got the list.
You did? Ooh, isn't that pretty?
Oh.
Oh, great shoulders.
They're supposed to stretch. They stretch. She's not going to stretch right on.
I stretch.
Well, here we are. Back in the hospital. In the emergency room. In the middle of New Hampshire. I'm 4 days away from going home. It's January 1st. They always say whatever you're doing on the first day of the year is what you do for the rest of your life. Well, here we are.
Now touch your nose. Now my finger, nose, finger, nose. Now, Biotus LA, like Entex LA, contains an over-the-counter drug that's called phenylpropanolamine. Now, phenylpropanolamine is a decongestant, and it works pretty well as a decongestant, but it does a whole bunch of other odd things, including sleep disturbances and palpitations and urinary urgency. And the first thing we should do is to undo, and that is to not take the Biotus and not take cephalexin. And I want to give you some hydroxyzine.
Well, by the time we'd finished in New Hampshire this year for Christmas, I was sick, exhausted, unhappy with my family, and never so glad to get away and come back to the lights of Hollywood.
You haven't had any of this cold or flu stuff?
No, but could you check to make sure that there's nothing up here for... What was it?
I found the viral infection. The blood stagnation seems to be pretty well cleared up. That was the stuff from last time. Good. Yeah, fungus in the mouth, that's good too. Okay.
Yes.
What's been happening?
I don't know, I think it's pretty much the same, but I can't help but tell me.
You've got a lot more of that brownish...
There is more yellow on it.
Yeah, areola around the lesions, and that's encouraging. Okay, let's see. You haven't noticed any new lesions?
No, thank God.
Well, miracle of miracles, we're going to use the same formula 2 weeks in a row.
No. Hey guys, what's wrong? Come on.
That's okay.
Party.
We went to Dr. Matt's. Went through our usual thing this morning with him, which was fine, and I got too tired to film towards the end and went and slept in the car while Mark had lunch. I didn't have lunch because we were going to go right home. I remember he said we were going to go right home and you can have soup and then I'll go shopping. I remember that, so he brought me some soup anyway because the soup was so good. So what happens next? Next we're on the way home and I say, okay, I get enough energy. Go ahead, do the food shopping at APLA. It's right between here and home. It's an easy stop. And I'll go to the bank and get my glasses fixed. So he does that and I do that. And then we're on the way home and he says, look, we're almost done. I'm gonna go to the health food store, which is not on the way home. And it is now 3:30. So we go to the health food store and I sit in the car and try to sleep and can't. So then he comes back and he says, look, it's only one more stop. I'm gonna go to the Mayfair because get tonight's dinner so I don't have to go out again. We've got to protect my health. Well, I haven't had dinner. I haven't had any. Jesus. I try to be helpful getting screwed time and time again. I hate being a nice guy.
Well, of course, it wasn't really Mark's fault. It's just anger at my incapacity to do the normal things that I used to be able to do, and it gets me so angry.
There. Voila. KS medicine.
You were telling me something a minute ago that I wanted to hear and put on tape.
What? About loving me?
Yes. That's all.
Oh, yes, no, I do. I love you. As I said, would you ask me how much or something?
Yeah, or just do you love
I
me?
said it hurts because I can't stand seeing you sick. It drives me crazy. I can't do anything about it. I can't control it. I don't know what it is. And it makes you unhappy and it makes me unhappy and it drives me nuts. Sometimes makes me very angry. So those are the times I probably can't do anything about it.
Mm.
And other times it hurts because I can't do anything for you. And then sometimes it scares me.
Now there's a goodnight kiss, huh? I bet you people don't get those.
That's another bad night. I sleep for about half an hour, and then I wake up and I get to sleep for another 2 hours based on my head banging. And then while I'm awake, I just think of all these things. In this case, it's about the auto show. I'm supposed to go to the auto show tomorrow. It will be the first thing that I've done all week that isn't a doctor's visit. But I don't think I have the energy to go. I've already canceled a couple of visitations. And I thought of taking a wheelchair, but I'm neither ready to admit that I want a wheelchair yet or to go through the hassle of that. Plus it's raining out, so that will make that even worse. And maybe I just shouldn't go, but if I don't, I'm admitting that I'm doomed to lying here in this bed for the rest of my life, and that's an unpleasant reality. So, I don't know.
Well, although the real issue wasn't the auto show or not the auto show, and It was about tossing and turning at night. You'd be happy to know that we decided not to go to the auto show. And now we're going to go to the record store instead. Hot pea shooter in my mouth.
You haven't told me where we are yet.
We're at Hard Times Pizza.
Thank you. This is our Superman strontium 90 rod here. This is what you weren't supposed to drink in the 1950s in milk. Dr. Melby also gave me a couple of names of people to check out about treatments for KS.
Uh-huh.
I heard a couple of cases of successful treatment of people that had a number of KS lesions that were really cleared. And found one of the problems, of course, is the expense of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we on the third time for the alphabet or the fourth time?
We're on the third time.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille.
There we go.
Just before we get into the session, you said that both of you were not quite up to par or less than or whatever. You know, maybe I wonder if maybe it might be helpful to talk about what has been happening or how both of you are right now.
Well, I've really been sick since New Hampshire. Fevers running an average of 101 and stuff like that. And we went to Dr. Matt and got a tea mixture and stuff that demanded every half hour, which is a discipline that I'm not up to. And then Mark was the alarm clock and would bring the tea in, you know. And then I would fall asleep and miss a bell.
Oh, you don't miss a bell. No, you're making it sound like you miss well, I've just missed 1 or 2 today, and you don't. If you're left on your own, you take like, you know, half or less of what you're supposed to take. To me, there's a problem there. If you're supposed to take it every half hour and you kind of forget and only take it 2 or 3 times a day, that's more than forgetting. To me, there's something else wrong there. But for me to like say, okay, I can't do this anymore, you do it. In another situation, I could do that. But the fact that we both have AIDS, I have the added fear that, well, if he dies, of course I don't want him to do that, that's the major thing, I don't want him to die. But the other thing is, that leaves me alone with AIDS, to die by myself with AIDS.
Can you explain to him, Tom?
No, I can't. I mean, part of me says, well, I do take my medicine. And then it's true that I don't take all my medicine. I guess one of the things that affects me a lot is I probably am a doomsday AIDSer. You know, in a sense that statistically and everything else, it seems to have its arc, if you will, and I'm pretty far down the arc, and I know that there's always exceptions, but I do feel, you know, the wall is not that far away, and there's a certain amount of desperation in relation to this kind of thing, the videotaping, as compared to just the other parts of life. So
the difference between the two of you in this issue that I see is that given the same threat, your way of fighting that threat is different, quite different. You, Mark, you're trying to lower the threat. You, Tom, you're trying to make the most out of what you have.
Well, this is my bedroom. There's this shelf here with flowers, food, and tapes to be edited. The camera I do my diary with is Mark.
Here I am, Helga, with the laundry. I have just done all of our little delicates, our little undies, our things.
Thank you, Helga. This is the camera that I do my diary work with. And then 1, 2, 3 cups of medicine that I drink. Then there's the tape deck. And here's the monitor, which is on a armature device. It's going to be raised and lowered and pulled out and pushed away. It was all designed with the idea that I'd end up sick in bed all the time and yet still be able to make my movie.
Oh, here they come. That's the guy. Oh, you would have been in the old style. You would have come
I'm going to take this whole tequila, so make it a good one.
Oh, no!
How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Actually, I'm pretty tired. I've been doing this all day long.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, but you've got a long way to go. You think you'll make it all the way?
It's going so fast. It's wonderful today.
Really?
People and the entertainment make it go so fast.
Yeah,
Oh,
great.
yeah, I'll make it all the way.
Have a good time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, let's see. I've been very sick for 2.5 weeks, lying in bed mostly, all the time. I just seem to, the last couple days, be regaining strength. You're only going to see me on my good sides. During that time, I got extremely depressed. Would have been happy to have just died. The phrase that I came up with is that I have lost the steam of life. The steam of life. The thing that powers you, keeps you rolling towards something. I know the lesson is that you're just supposed to learn to roll and not roll towards something, like a rolling stone, you know. It's old wisdom, and it is wise. But I feel so empty, and I feel so pointless, and I have so much trouble remembering anything good I've done. As if that brings value to my life, I don't know, you see. Of course it doesn't bring value to my life. And I know the real story is that you get what you get. You live a happy life, you've had a happy life. You live a tormented life and you're always worrying and naysaying, that's the life you will have lived.
We see a chair and we're deciding if we're going to sit in it or continue to the next chair in a brave effort of physical dynamism. We pass the chair in a brave effort of physical dynamism. And I love you, Mark, so much. Action, please.
I was a sign.
Oh, I see.
Right here.
Hello, so glad to see you. The props!
It's you.
It's me again. I need some air.
Turn around.
How you doing?
Hi. Seeing there's nobody here, we're going.
The woman who invited us here, who owns the place, is very nice. She's been very nice to us, and she would like me to keep my shirt on so I don't freak out any of the people. And I do that, but it also then feeds into that bad part of me that I don't, being self-conscious and disliking my body and whatnot. And mostly I worry about those things because I don't want to upset other people with having to look at ugly me. So it ends up feeding into a bad part of me, where I should just normally be proud of it, because normally I'm proud that I've been alive this long. And I just like, screw you, I'm living, I'm not dead.
Back into the cubby hole.
What?
What are you doing, flashing me at your KS?
Yeah. I was being political.
Always the best part. What is this that passes before my eyes every day? I spend most of my time looking, seeing. Just watching this strange thing pass in front of me. I'm not much of a participant in life anymore. I'm a distant viewer, just watching it all pass by, knowing that I'm not going to have that much longer to keep my eye on the prize. Hear that industrial sound in the background? Now those big dumpsters being pulled up. Someone rebuilding their house. More trash going to some dump that doesn't have room for it on a freeway that's full of cars. This civilization is so strange. I've never felt much a part of it. I think being gay separates you a little. Certainly having AIDS and being a walking dead, if you will, separates one from the everyday world. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It really is a beautiful day, by the way. Wonderful sun, not too hot, not too cold, little breeze.
don't know what anybody could ask for more. Dr. Jenkins in the office the other day, during our monthly visit, says, well, it's kind of time, Tom. And then he looks at me and says, you know, you should maybe start looking for a hospice. The corollary of all of that information, of course, means that, you know, average lifespan in hospice is 2 months. It's time, that kind of stuff, which was very startling to hear. I didn't think I was that sick, even though sometimes I sort of wanted to be. And was greeted with very mixed feelings. A real bombshell. And that's about it. So that's that story.
What have you been doing since then?
About the same as I was doing before. Sleeping a lot. Rolling over, sleeping some more. That kind of thing. Taking my medicines.
Tell me about all the people coming to visit and what you feel about it.
Well, that's kind of hard. Been having a lot of guests, and we have a lot more coming. It seems like they're coming to say hi before we die, you know, that kind of. Let's say hi to Mark and Tom in case things are going to get bad real quick.
Yep. And what do you feel of Sue's visit now that it's all over?
It was a nice visit, kind of innocuous. It ended very quietly. The last day and a half, she almost stayed away from me because I was sleeping a lot. So I didn't get to see her much, which was okay in terms of what I wanted to have happen. She knew when to stay away, you know. So I had no trouble. You apparently had more trouble than I did.
Here, you take the camera.
What do you think of Sue's visit?
Well, I'll wait till you get me in frame.
Okay.
Well, it's funny. You probably slept through most of Sue's visit, but Sue's visit was very helpful, very good. She helped a lot. I learned a lot. She got me through a lot of bad times. But it was a whole situation where Sue was into Tom is dying of AIDS. And the reason she stayed away from you those last 2 days is because you were going through a quote-unquote a period of acceptance and withdrawal and needed to be left alone so that you could get ready to die. Not that she was just leaving you alone because you were sleeping. It was very taxing in that way, in that it was like a barrage of death notices, which I don't think was positive for me in the end, in that vein.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Good morning, Tom. As I said earlier, this is June 1st. How are you today?
Delightful beginning. You start on my urine bottle?
No, I started on your empty breakfast plate.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
You made it another month. We made it another month.
Yeah. May, April, March. What is it?
It's June 1st here.
June 1st. June 1st. My mind's been getting vague lately, which is sort of a problem, carrying on a nice conversation. It happened in the car the other day. And,
with who?
I don't know, who was I in the car with the other day? Anybody?
The only car you ever been in with me was the doctor's on Tuesday.
Someone must have driven me to county.
No, you've never been to county, Tom.
Anyway.
Here we are having our fabulous European ocean cruise. Mr. Joslin is out here on the deck with his sunglasses, his walking stick, his little cap to keep the sun off the top of his head, and his chocolate shake.
Welcome, welcome. I hope you're enjoying your trip.
And this is where we're going. Somewhere in the Mediterranean.
So we'll keep you tracked. Further inputs on our journey. It's shorter than we thought it was going to be. But then, that's life.
This is Judy. Judy Lynn's visiting.
Am I in focus?
Yes, you're in focus, dear. Could you go into the living room and get the photograph of Tom and me?
In the frame?
Yeah, the one in the frame.
Judy is a photographer. And this particular photo shoot she's going to show us is the one she's made for us. For us.
A year and a half ago on our anniversary.
It's really good.
You might get some glare or something. Oh, come on, poor guy.
There we are. There's Tom and me and Tom in the picture a year and a half ago. Obviously right after he had a great haircut. You remember who else is coming next week?
Next week? No, I don't.
You know what I should do? I should make a big chart on the wall with a calendar of everybody who's coming.
Well, Elaine is coming.
Yeah, Bo is coming next, probably Thursday or Friday, after his compound Q. And then Elaine is coming this next weekend. And then next Thursday, your mother and Betsy are coming. And if Whitey can get a plane while he's flying out to San Francisco, he'll come up for a day. And then Sharon and Maddie are supposed to be coming that same weekend. And then after that,
What is Whitey? Is Whitey?
Bill Benson.
What does Whitey do?
Older brother.
What does he do?
Air Force.
Oh, I should give him a plane.
Yeah, you bet. Exactly.
Should give you a plane.
Exactly.
Should give me a plane.
Well, there you have it.
Let's write him a letter.
You love me?
Yes, I love you.
Do you like me videotaping you?
Yes.
I like videotaping you too a lot.
Mark's making Tom's breakfast. Let's see, what do we have here?
Well, this is, I'm not going to give him now. This is a little thick. This is raspberry cream cheese.
Miso soup. Cheesecake. The egg. Stirring.
Mash it up to make it easily edible. Well. Let's egg. Should have warned you, I'm sorry. Today's Monday, and I think that's June 19th. I'm not absolutely sure. I could check later. Tom?
Huh?
You want to wave?
Hi.
There we go. Okay. I love you. You look like Queen Elizabeth. Okay, thank you. This is a letter that Tom wrote his mother. It says, I love you. And I'm going to mail it for him today. Our landlord, Mike, just got his doctor's reports back on Friday. And today he told me he wants to go up and see our herb doctor, which means Mike's tests came back positive. And Bob, Ron's lover, he's positive, so he's going back to our herb doctor too. Cleaned Tom's fingernails today. I soaked them and cut them and cleaned underneath them. Okay, you two, tell me what you thought of Tom, how he looked and how he was. And
I don't think I had seen Tom for about 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, or had talked to him, and I was surprised how quickly he'd gone downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You haven't seen him for less time.
Probably. He was skinnier than I've ever seen him, and I don't know.
This is Dr. Matt's idea. He said this is real easy to eat, and turkey and rice is full of carbohydrates and protein.
Good. It tastes good too? Sounds good.
What?
It's hot like a good baby.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, don't forget, you're my baby.
You do your medicine later on too.
Reinforcements will be here soon. Until then, you are my responsibility.
This came in the mail yesterday, and this is Tom's Medi-Cal benefits have to be reestablished, because I guess it's been a year or something, I don't know. And they give you a cover sheet with what kind of information they want, and they check it off. First, they want the statement of facts for Medi-Cal, which is this. All these pages, both sides. They want work history, they want everything, property, what he owns, what's in the bank, second parent or other spouse income. This is the exact same stupid form that you had to fill out to apply for Medi-Cal. Also, down here they want his current income verification, as if they already don't know that he has AIDS and he's on SSI and SSD. They know that already. Plus they want receipts for child care costs. Now, why check that off? They know he doesn't have any children if they look at the thing. And then his banking, savings, and checking information. They've got all this information. He can't fill this out anyways.
Did you sleep well last night? Yes, I did.
Elaine said she's going to take the camera to the Huntington Garden today. Is that okay?
How are you doing?
What?
How are you doing?
I don't know. Did you get what?
Is that what we're doing?
That's what we're doing. You want me to stay home with you?
Oh, that's okay.
Ian's going to be here, the housekeeper.
As Sue said, Sue told us that the Huntington Gardens were beautiful, well worth seeing.
Yeah.
She said, you should go there if you can.
Shut that off. Today's June 25th, and it's really, really hot. It's over 100 degrees or something in the house. And Tom's lying in bed here, all nice and cool. I'll show you. See, he even has his pants undone here, so that he can be cool. And I haven't done any video recording for the last couple of days because I felt really bad that I gave Tom some food that didn't settle well, and it made him throw up all night, and it made him a little sicker and a little weaker, and I was just ashamed I had done that, and I was afraid to turn on the camera because everybody would see that he was weaker again. But I just love him so much. This is Tom's right eyelid. It has a KS lesion on it. You can see that on the upper rim, it's very dark, and that hurts him a great deal. See, I can pull the eye open, and you can see down his eye inside. But the top lid, up here, he says it hurts him now. But his other eye over here, see, that eye's fine. That eye you can see in the camera with. Okay, tell the camera how you feel.
I feel pretty bad.
He says he feels pretty bad.
I don't feel chipper.
Doesn't feel chipper.
I don't feel like none of my friends feel good.
Doesn't feel good.
None of my friends feel good.
Hello. This is the 1st of July, and Tommy's just died. My little Whoopi died. And I sang to him. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Isn't he beautiful? He's so beautiful. This is for you, Tommy. All of us, all of your friends will finish the tape for you, okay? We promise. We promise. Bye. Bye, Tom.
Any rings, any jewelry or anything?
No, he does. Oh, I think he lost that ring. I get his hands crossed, but it fell off. Yeah, it fell off.
Yeah, okay. On him here, or?
No,
oh,
no, a long time ago.
Oh, okay. I need to get all information, so.
Okay. There you go. I'm going to cover you up again, Tom. All right. Here we go.
He wants some information. I don't know whether they can give it to him.
Well, you know his name and his
yeah,
birth date and things
yeah,
like
we know
that.
that stuff, sure.
I sure don't want to displace you.
Throw her down.
What is Thomas's birth date to you?
November 29th, 1946.
November 29,
1946.
46.
You know that better than I do.
What state was he born in?
Massachusetts.
you happen to know Social Security number offhand? If not, we'll
I can
get it
look it up.
later.
I don't know it
We can
right
get it
now.
later. That's okay. So we're going to use you then as the next of kin. It's Mark.
Right, M-A-R-K. M-A-S-S-I.
This is the same address, right?
Yeah.
I can get in myself.
No, I have to.
Okay, because I
can't be on pedestal.
Yeah. They're designed to be one-man cots. I'm gonna wash my hands.
I got this book in the mail today. It's called How to Survive the Loss of a Love. It came from my counselor at APLA. I've been laughing a lot at the book today. I'm in the anger phase, and this book tells you all about the different phases you go through. And on the left-hand column, they have just plain old practical information. On this page, the other page, the opposing page, they have little poetries, little pieces of poems to tell you what they're about. And there's titles like What Loss Feels Like, as if I don't know. Then they go through the stages of recovery. There's the first is shock and denial. One of the little poems I liked very much here was, I know it was time for us to part, but today, I know I had much pain to go through, but tonight, which was kind of true. It's kind of like I understood all this was going to happen, but it always happens so fast. They also have charts here on the healing process. This is not how we recover. This one here, which they call like a lightning bolt with dramatic leaps and depressing backslides. This is how we truly recover. You can expect to be in shock for a while. This emotional numbness may be frightening. You may struggle both to believe and to disbelieve that this could have happened to you. I like that one. Because you do. You struggle to believe it, like I can't believe it happened, and then once you do believe that it happened, you don't want to believe that it happened. It has happened. It is real. Recognize that a loss has taken place. You are strong enough. You will survive. But that's it. That's all now. This is my self-help book. Will definitely get me through this depression.
And how long, what day is this?
This is day 2. Day 2 after Tom died. And there was a big dramatic change this morning. All the pain and tension in my gut and the feeling that I can't do anything, that I'm trapped and I'm going to throw up and whatnot or implode, that's gone. And it is replaced with, as I said, anger, which is much more comical and cynical to deal with. You're all over the place, Tom.
We should know that from the very beginning, God gave all of his creation freedom. God gave freedom for viruses to exist, and one of those viruses causes AIDS. It doesn't mean that God sends AIDS or any other sickness. Bad things do happen to good people. Jesus loves people with AIDS. Jesus loves any sick person. Jesus loves well people. Jesus loves gay people. Jesus loves straight people. Let us never forget that on that cross, Jesus shed his precious blood for all of humanity. He didn't have a list of who was worthy and who was not. That salvation was a gift given to all humanity and for all time.
These two characters really shaped my life a lot. They brought me in. They shared life with me very patiently. They showed me New York. They showed me their relationship. They showed me art and the price of being grown-ups. And now they have shown me even more about illness and loss, giving up, enduring, and about the boundaries of love.
And then my thoughts turned to other friends I had lost. How many was it now? It seemed I should be keeping count of these things. My thoughts then flashed back to the years of the 60s, in a time when we sat before the television set and were given body counts from Vietnam. 250 enemy dead, 35 Americans dead. It seemed that we as a society want to assign importance to a situation by keeping score. The 35 American dead were less important somehow because the score was 250 to 35 in our favor. And so now the count marches on in this battle. But we are faced with a dilemma in our war with AIDS. There are no enemy dead to count this time. We are faced with the prospect of counting only the dead among our loved ones.
My brother had a dream, and he had the guts to dare to be different, to follow his dream. My brother Tom left us a legacy. He bequeathed to us his unfulfilled dream, Silverlake Life, a view from here. When I last saw Tom, Mark and I spoke of destiny. Perhaps it was Tom's destiny to die in order to create the full impact of Silverlake Life.
Well, before Silverlake Life could have any impact, it had to be completed. When Tom died, I was in France, but 5 months later, I went back to California to film an ending and to visit Mark. We talked about everything that had happened since the last time I saw them. What about Tom's parents? What happened between you and his family when he died?
Family. Peter wants to talk about family. Well, there was a big issue with Tom anyways, way back when he first got sick with cryptococcus meningitis. was whether his family was going to come out here to see him. And they didn't know if it would do any good. And, you know, should they come out now? Should they come out later? All these kind of things. And then when he got really sick this last time, there was a question about who should come out again. You know, was it time? One of the things which I haven't even mentioned in any of the tapes so far is Charlie's wonderful line of, well, would it do any good if he came out? And I kept trying to tell Charlie that good didn't make any differences. Do you want to see your son one last time before he dies? You know. But anyway, so when Tom died, and we're all crying, Charlie comes running into the room, and first thing he tries to do is get Mary to leave the room, saying, "It's all over now. Come on out here. Come on out here. Don't do this to yourself." And I finally had to yell at him and say, leave her alone. Let her stay here. This is the last she's going to be with her son. But that whole experience between Mary and I, and Tom dying and taking care of him, did change her opinion of me even more. I've been adopted as pretty much a son to her, because we both went through something together that only she and I went through. Nobody else did this but she and I. So this experience has really brought us together and made us really close.
It seems like there's more than a little bit of irony in this situation.
Oh yes, there. The fact that Tom had to die for her to see how much I really did love him.
What about your father?
We've never gotten along very well. But when Tom died, I sent him a letter and told him about it, and I was surprised. He wrote me a letter back, and this is it. This is the only letter I have ever gotten from my father. "Hi, Mark. I have never written you, but I am now. I know you have a problem, but take it one day at a time. I had to make the best of it. I had the two of you to take care of. I did tell both of you, if you are gay, just don't tell the world. Heck, I told you of gays after me, and you said I might like it. Well, I had a gay come to my apartment. Wow. Well, anyway, keep up the faith. It will all work out. Your dad." This is a very weird letter. This is surreal letter. That I think that letter does recognize, in that letter my father does recognize that Tom and I were a couple, a family. Because he talks about it in terms of him losing his wife, my mother.
How long did you and Tom live together?
Almost 22 years. It'll be 22 years, January 11th.
Tell me about life now.
Life now. Life now is very confusing. I mean, it's even hard to organize thoughts in my head to talk about it, because I'm in horrendous physical pain all the time because of my rectal problems. I'm on lots of painkillers, which make me weird. I have my own AIDS, my own falling T-cell count. I'm just really beat. That's probably the easiest way to put it. I'm really, really beat. Along with the gas still is that inability to digest, food, so I've still been only eating 2 meals a day at the most, and that I'm losing weight still. And it also means I haven't been, last few days, just the last couple of days, I haven't been able to take all my medicines at night, because that's just won't digest. Doesn't it look like it's still getting lighter?
Oh, yes, the same thing. The center of the lesions are all blanched out.
Yeah. They're still yellow around the edges, too.
Still very yellow around the edges. More so, I would say, than last week. You think they're yellower?
Yeah, see, this is a lot yellower,
very,
and
very
these are
yellow.
more blanched out than they used to be. But we still have that other problem that the newer ones are still growing. It's still pretty good. I've figured that dying is just the end, and that it's a big, black, boring, horrible void afterwards. Not that I want to believe that, but some part of me just has never believed that there was anything else. Until Tom came back. All of a sudden, zoom from, Tom always comes from up here somewhere, zoom down, he was like standing behind the chair and kind of like leaning into me and with his head like kind of resting on my shoulder with his head up against the side of my head. And he just stayed there for the longest time. And it really is this strange energy that comes from up high, that comes zipping around, and it's not really attached to the world we live in. One conversation I had with him, I was telling him that, it was really nice to have him around because it was really hard to live day to day without him. But then I said, well, but if you've got to, if it's your time to go and you've got to go dissipate into the universe and become one with it all, don't hang around here for me. I said, I'll survive. And I get this very clear message that said, you idiot, I've got nothing else to do now. So he doesn't have anything else to do. He's free. He can do what he wants to do. So he's come and visited me probably about 3 or 4 times now.
Why do you think he's only come 3 or 4 times? Why doesn't he just hang around all the time?
He's never given any indication. I can only guess. So I think it would probably be bad for me. I couldn't get on with my life, which is hard enough to get on with anyways. And he's gone. He's dead. So I think he is somewhere else. It's like, I can't go there, he can't come here that often or something. I don't know. But I think mostly it's because he's dead. And he knows he is. So he's not, stuck here.
Well, I met him on a Sunday. And I missed him on Monday. Well, I found him on Tuesday. And I dated him Wednesday. And I kissed him on Thursday. And he didn't come Friday, no. When he showed up Saturday. I said bye-bye, baby.
Mr. Bones?
Yes, Mr. Interlocutor.
Could you tell me what Gertrude Stein's last words to Alice B. Toklas were?
Alice turned to Gertrude on her deathbed and said, Gertrude, what's the answer?
And what did Gertrude reply?
What's the question?
Goodbye, sadness, goodbye, goodbye. I don't need you anymore. I wet my pillow every night, but now I saw the light. Goodbye, goodbye, sadness. I don't need you anymore. Goodbye.